Hey guys, this is Mr. Kafua here, bringing you another video. So in this video, we're going to be doing a 4.4. So in 4.4, it's solving two-step inequalities. So now we've learned how to solve one step with addition and subtraction, and one step with multiplication and division. And now we're going to go to two steps. So on these two-step inequalities, this is what we do here. So the first step is always going to be to create a t-chart. So I'm going to drop a line down my inequality symbol. And then that line is a placeholder for the inequality symbol. It's also, like I've said a whole bunch of times, it is also a line of symmetry. So whatever I do on the left side, I got to do on the right side. Then I'm going to color code this. So my second step is going to be to identify, or I guess I'll kind of word it this way. We're going to use the first two steps in the order of operations. So in this case, it's going to be parentheses slash exponents. And I'm going to do them both in one step. Just because in this case, we don't really have either parentheses or exponents, so I know I can combine them together and do it kind of quickly. And so that's kind of the reason why I'm doing it. It's not really anything in particular. So I look for parentheses, I don't see any. I look for exponents, and I don't see any. So then I'm going to move on to the next step. So here we go. Step 3. So step 3, so when you're solving, we talked about in class how it's like doing the order of operations. So the first two steps stay normal, but then it kind of flips. So instead of doing multiplication and division like it's a typical order of operations to solve, you need to do it the opposite way. So in this step, we're going to do addition or subtraction. And so what I mean by that is when I say we're going to do addition or subtraction, I mean we're going to look at the problem and identify which operation we have here being done to our variable. So we look at the left side where our variable is and we say to ourselves, what operation is being done to b divided by -3? And we say, oh, well, it has to be addition or subtraction, and it's addition. So since that operation is addition, we identify it as addition. That means we need to use the opposite operation to solve. So the opposite operation is subtraction. So we're going to subtract on both sides like this. Remember, this blue dotted line is my line of symmetry. And we're going to subtract 4 from both sides. And the reason why we subtract 4 is because we want to get b. Ooh, that's ugly. Hold on. Review. Let's try this again. We want to get b. Oh, that's better. We're going to get b over -3 by itself. And so by subtracting 4 from both sides, we notice that 4 minus 4 becomes 0, which is the whole goal here. So we're left with just b divided by -3. This dotted line is a placeholder for my less than or equal to symbol. And 13 minus 4 is 9. Then we move to my fourth step. And so my fourth step really talks about, now we're doing the other step of the order of operations, and this is multiplication or division. And we do it based on what is in the problem. So we look here at b over -3, and we notice that this is division. So the opposite operation of division is multiplication. So we're going to multiply. And I think it's okay to use times like an x for multiplying because our variable is a b. I would say if your variable is an x, you should use a different symbol like a dot, and just so you don't get confused between the variable and the multiplication symbol. And we're going to multiply both sides by -3. And the goal here, the reason why I picked -3 is because I know that when I multiply b divided by -3, it's going to get b by itself. And I can show you here as a side note that -3 times b divided by -3, well, we got to turn -3 into a fraction with the denominator 1. And then you just multiply fractions by multiplying across. You get -3b over -3, which is just b. Okay, so that's the reason why I know that I need to multiply both sides by -3, because I got my variable alone, and that's the whole point. So I'm going to erase this now. And if you want to write that side note down just so you have it, that'd be a good idea. And I would pause the video at that point. That way you could write it down. And so now I'm going to draw my evaluation line, and I'm going to start moving through. b divided by negative 3 times negative 3 is just b. Then, since we multiplied by a negative, we have to make sure we flip our inequality symbol. So we're going to flip it. And then 9 times negative 3 is negative 27. So I'm going to stop for a second and write a note. Flip. Actually, I'm going to move my note up to where it actually happens. So, note. Ooh, bad star. Let's try this again. Oh, that's good. So here we go. Flip. Inequality. Oh, no, I'm not going to fit it there. So we're going to flip the inequality symbol. Because we multiplied by a negative. So remember, the rule is whenever you multiply or divide by a negative, when you're solving, you have to flip your inequality symbol. So that is how you solve a two-step inequality. Thanks for watching.